Look what it says here. Look how in the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 21, Solomon is speaking words of wisdom. Well, these are warnings and instructions. Um, this is speaking to the individual now. Um, My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. I love this scripture. It says, My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. America has sold a lie. Once again, Satan has sold a lie, saying that being diverse, being always being innovative. Innovative is change. Being, open-minded. Being entrepreneurial. Being, all these things that bring about new ideas. Okay, why do you want to bring about new things all the time when God is always about old things and God is always about the one same thing? So if you are always about change and constant, how do you believe that you can stay faithful or, still obey the laws of old when the laws of old never change? Um, It says, meddle not with them. The word meddle means do not play with them, don't go around them, don't hang out with them, don't even inquire about them. Stay away from these people. So if you're sitting in your shack and you're looking at your clothes and you're like, I got a hole in my shirt, uh, you know, I'm just shabby looking, but you watch the TV and you see all these people dressed in their exotic silk garments and stuff like that, and you're like, you know what? It's time for a change in my life. Don't be this person who's quick to evoke change in your life. People, even countries, our country is very big on change. We are huge on innovation and entrepreneurship. This is a capitalistic society here in America. So that right there, it drives people mad. They'd be like, I just want to go over there. I can be whatever I want to be. And this is where we get in trouble. Change is a problem with God. God hates change. The only way God can support change is if he is in it. But in today's society and in today's world, God is not in it. And taking back what I said about him being for change, um, it's probably a big no-no. Uh, I would say God is not for change because God tells us time after time, His word never changes. Um, not to add on to His word, not to take from His word. God's word will stay the same until the foundations of the earth come down. God does not change. God does not change. So if God does not change, then why should we, the people, change? Okay, so Okay, for calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both? All right. So you don't want to be given to change. These people here in America and these innovative countries, Japan, China, they love change. That's why my ex-girlfriend and I couldn't get along because, she just always wants to do something new. I'm just real conservative. I'm just real, one thing, I go the right way. I don't go everybody's way. I just go the right way. But so if a person's always given to change, and you see that a country is always given to change, you know to stay away from that type of person or that type of country. I want to talk one real quickly on disease. We have band together along with our health societies and our World Health Organizations and the UN. We want to tackle the issue of the different various diseases that are out there today. Um, this may upset a lot of you, but it should because it's not the will of God that we try to tackle the issues concerning diseases because number one, we cannot tackle the issues concerning diseases. You have your cancer walk, you have your AIDS walk, AIDS awareness, you have breast cancer awareness, you have lupus awareness, you have foundations, and God is just sitting in heaven, probably. I know he's not laughing. Let me not take the scriptures for joke, but he's just sitting in heaven, just getting mad. His indignation, we're just stirring a pot of his wrath, and he's just watching us and how vain and stupid we are as a human race. Thinking that we can put together funds and put together monetary resources to destroy diseases that he has created for the world to suffer by them. So I see a world today trying to build up billions and billions of dollars to battle the issue of disease, right? And God says that you shall never be able to quench what He has started. If you believe that cancer and AIDS and these things were some type of conspiracy botched up in a secret plant somewhere, by evil men to destroy the population of the world, you have been deceived. This is what the government wants you to believe, because if something is created, then it can be destroyed. Because if a person were to actually create the AIDS virus and actually have there will be an antidote for it, because if they will make a virus, they will make an antidote. So this would give hope, knowing that there is a possible cure out there for it. It would give some type of hope out there, even for cancer or, lupus or, by telling the population that you bring the disease upon yourself. All right. That gives hope that that some way or somehow that disease can somehow be reversed, right? But if you told people that no, the disease come from God and only God can uplift the curse, how would people spend money to go to the doctors? Because everybody will be scared. They'd be like, what? I'm not going to spend my money or go to no AIDS work when it's going to be nothing to me in the end, right? It's going to be nothing to me in the end, because at the end of the day, the only person who can take up this curse of this disease from me is God. So the big Pfizer corporations and the big health corporations, they're not going to make any money if you were to tell people where the disease actually really came from, because it came from God. It did not come from man. It doesn't come from the way you live your life. It doesn't come from the foods you eat or don't eat. It doesn't come from being under the sun 24/7. It doesn't come from secondhand smoke. It doesn't come from hereditary changes and diseases and stuff like that. It comes from one person. It comes from God. Now you can choose to believe God on this matter, or you can believe man on the issue. Because when you believe man on the issue, then you have hope. You'll be like, what, if I just calm down or tone down certain sweets or certain activities, then it won't make my disease so aggressive. Or if I just stop having sex this and stop doing that. Okay, so here is and these diseases that are transferable, for any of you who are second guessing what I'm saying, these diseases that are transferable: hepatitis, what is it? This real severe one, Hep C, AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea. The reason why these things are is because God brought about these diseases. Why? Because He told me through His scripture in the book of Genesis that He brought about these diseases. And the reason why it is transmittable and a lot of people catches it is because the heart is sinful with God. So if the heart doesn't have God on it and the heart is sinful and all the heart wants to do is be lustful and covetous, then that person will acquire the disease. It's just that simple, But as far as the creator of such things, that credit goes to God. So in the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 10, chapter 12, verse 10, get to it. God is speaking to His children. Once again, we are His children. And He's telling His people that they are a sinful people. And because they are a sinful people, He is going to plague them with the diseases of the world. And it says here, 12:10. No, Deuteronomy 28. I'm sorry. Genesis, Exodus. But it is Deuteronomy. This is Deuteronomy 28. Bear with me. Okay. Here it goes. And it said, I'm going to start in verse 59. So, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 59. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed. Okay, if people are wondering how a child can be born with a disease, God is telling you why children are being born with the disease, because he brings forth the child with the disease. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and thy plagues of thy seed, even the great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. So because we don't obey the word of the voice, the word of the Lord, our God, God is bringing upon us these diseases. Because we don't obey. We don't listen to God. Okay? We don't trust God. We dishonor him. So for this, it also touches here of how children are brought forth with diseases. Oh, but it's hereditary. It's hereditary. It's not hereditary. When God says he brings forth the child with disease, but you say it's hereditary, you're actually taking away power from God. You're actually saying God is not responsible for such a cruel act. God is saying, yes, listen, he is the one that brings about the diseases, and the diseases that are not written in this book. We don't see AIDS in this book. We don't see cancer in this book. We don't see deafness. Well, we see a lot of deafness. We don't see gonorrhea, syphilis, measles. Well, measles is in this book. We don't see a lot of the diseases that we have today. Lupus. We don't see a lot of these diseases in this book. So God also makes sure to cover all grounds concerning diseases and plagues. The plagues that he gave unto the Egyptians, which are in the book, and the plagues which are not in this book of law. So I believe God on this one. I'm sorry, I don't believe man. I don't believe the scientists or the doctors on this one. God brings about disease. So all of you contributing your money to AIDS Walk and got your pink ribbons around, your shields and stuff like this, it means nothing with God. You're doing it in vain. You're doing it out of stupidity. You cannot help reverse this thing. There will not be a time that's going to come where you're going to find a cure for any of this stuff. There is no cure. You can slow it down. You can try to tame the disease. You can try to do whatever, but there's always going to be cases of remission. There's always going to be instances where the disease will come back and act more stronger and more aggressive than ever. This is the curse of God. Okay, it's no curse that man made in the lab. All these controversies and conspiracy theories that send the world into a drift. It's just the media putting these things out here. So you cannot give credit to God for making all these diseases. Disease comes from heaven. And the way to get rid of the diseases is only through spiritual means, not through physical means. But that is a whole nother other topic.